What is up, everybody? Welcome to Truth and Transparency. I'm gonna change something really quick. All right, what is up, guys? Sorry. How's that sound? We were having a little bit of issues back here, so is the sound okay? Perfect, perfect, awesome. All right. I guess I hit a pretty big nerve. We getting rowdy, rowdy. Okay. Hello, hello. You guys remember this? I did an episode, got some body cam footage back in the day, and it was this guy right here that was just lurking on March the 23rd. And this is Queen Road Apartments, and right looking over, the house was already destroyed, but he was just literally watching college kids. I thought that was really weird. Remember that? So, ooh, have you guys ever heard of Switzer Engineering Laboratories? Okay. Well, they opened up a new place in 2023, but they started employing people in 2022. Our guy here, Noah, but just so everybody understands, I don't believe that Like Noah is just, that's just his car, okay? It's very, very important. Okay, this is about someone's vehicle, and it's about his car. I'm going to zoom this in really quick. I want to point out some of the stuff that I didn't get to. Let's see. Schweitzer. There you go. Perfect. Schweitzer. Right here, our boy had his car redone. And when this happened, he had the back. So remember how I was able to do all of this is I linked it to his 84 car that he had. And but when he got in that car accident, okay, this is the original one that was bought, and it was a dark gray. Okay. And then literally the same day that he takes these photos is the same day that he gets into this wreck. Okay. See how it says Elantra there? Okay. They were black chrome rims. Right. Now watch what happens here. He then takes it to CCT, which is in Payette, and they, in October, they make it this all green color. And the only thing that changes is the word Elantra is not there. I'm going to show you guys another picture of something. This is Queen Road Apartments over there. Let's see how this looks. All right, so our buddy over here, he has a bunch of friends, and okay. Yeah, that's gonna be bad. Hold on. Did you guys see how when? Hold on. Will it work? No. You can at least see that when those lights are flashing on something, or when then you take your brights and put lights on it, and then try to take a picture. Do you see how it whitens it out? You could see a little bit. You see how that's green right there, but the rest, like, do you see that? That's what it creates. Okay. And I think that that's reasons that we're not seeing certain things when you're talking about the 329 time going in the first time, then like there's 336, and there's like the 56, and then the 404. Okay. So, but it's, when the light's on it, it's definitely white. But if you pay close attention, if someone's not messing with it, you can see at little points like the green. But anyways, so I wanted to show everybody that he's 100% was up in that bitch. Living over there. Visiting people, though, also as well. Visiting people. His best friends are the Cornwells. Cornwells, you want to know why they're important? Well, they've always grown up in Moscow, Idaho, to the point that their parents are both professors at the University of Idaho. And on September 22nd, September 25th, he went, and they live right over there. I'm going to show you guys a map. without doing anything crazy. Let's see. They all go overseas and study though. But here's a list of all of the family members that are all his age that have grown up in Moscow, right? Well, because I wanted to check out a connection. And the connection I wanted to check out was if these were local Moscow people, like they all, I mean, you grew up there. It's a small area. Well, would you believe it? Noah's really good friends with Jacob Cornwell. And guess who he's friends with? Emma Bailey. So those of you guys that want to talk about Emma Bailey, there you go. But they grew up together. They went to Moscow High School together, you know? They're friends though on social media. Then, just when I thought that, woo, you know, forestry, then guess who else? Jacob, who is really good friends with Noah. Like that's like, it's like good family friends, you know what I mean? To the point that they go hiking and camping for the weekend with the parents and shit. So, and again, there's not, I'm just trying to show you guys a connection. And Jacob, again, one of Noah's really close friends. Well, there you go, Lake Campbell. Noah isn't the only one that drives this vehicle. We've seen this vehicle be driven by a female before. This vehicle gets driven at all hours of the night. And okay, this is a map. Ta-da! Do you guys see that map? Okay, great. Awesome. Well, see this right here? 787 Indian Hills, right? Okay. If you go like this, Indian Hills like this to this, then you gotta go like, you can go like this to this. That's like gonna be over here. It's like at Steiner like that. You go like this and go across like that, right? You see right here? That's a place that they frequent a lot. When I say they, Noah and his friends. Noah and the Cornwalls. Noah also has a storage area, lock, whatever, because he has and stores his little whatever dirt bike you want to call it. They go dirt biking together. Okay. Noah has been notorious. No, he's been notorious for not putting a front license plate on his car. So there's no front license plate there. A lot of driving on this vehicle from 2022 to 2024, 87,000 miles in 2 years. A lot of driving. Again, it was originally dark gray. He just started making, I don't know, these items, and he sells them with sheaths. I wanted to make sure that he always was notorious for, let's see, Idaho forestry. Idaho forest. Ready for this? He worked at Les Schwab. He quit working at Les Schwab. Les Schwab does tires and stuff like that. His vehicle always had right here the black pimped out rims, like good ass chrome, nice ass rims. Who would ever take that off your vehicle and then decide to go with, hold on. Ooh. I'm going to print off a couple other ones. Where's the one that I wanted? This one. It'd be noticeable. Thank God he got rid of them. So this is a suspect vehicle, right? No doubt it's a Hyundai Elantra 2016. No doubt 2020. It has its black rims. This is out camping, and the license plate's questionable there. But he does a thing where he takes the license plates and he bends them. And again, I zoomed in to show you guys that it wasn't there. Yeah, this is the one I wanted. It fell somewhere. Where the fuck it went. But I went back further through stuff to show, it's going to print off right now. And what I wanted to show is that he is notorious for not putting on a front license plate on his vehicle. And when he does have one on, like I said, he bends it up. So here's his truck. December 3rd, 2019. See. 2019. Okay, let's take a look at that. See back here? Well, look at what he did. Again, all I'm saying is that it's his car is the 401 Ridge. I believe that the police knew about him. I believe the police knew that it wasn't this kid. I believe that the police cleared this kid. But I believe what the police did was they kept his vehicle in that timestamp. Do you understand what I'm saying by that? When the defense says that the prosecution should have known, the prosecution knew or should have known that that's not suspect vehicle one, meaning this: they knew that that vehicle did not belong to the person that they were going to arrest. Okay, so here, this is the vehicle when it was gray. Okay, with the black rims, and he obviously kept those rims for He had him in 2018, 19, 20. And then these are the rims. Same vehicle. Now, why would you ever, I mean, this is the vehicle coming up. This is Noah's vehicle. Okay. This is his vehicle. It's right out in front of the house. All right. And the reason that I believe that this car gave investigators some issues is because of the back custom trunk once it was salvaged. When they fixed it after it was salvaged, they got the trunk and it did not have the Elantra words on the back. So where was it? As you can see, the license plate's bent. Where's that picture I want to show? Oh, that guy, he sells. Do they come with sheaths of some kind? Yeah. He has sheaths for them. He may be interested. Okay. That's about the sheaths. Wild. The sheaths for those. Oh, here we go. This is what I was looking for. Okay. You see that? This is the car. This is the green car. Okay. Queen Apartments. House right here. This is the day of the demolition. So Noah's best friends, his family and this family, the Cornwalls, they are best friends. Okay. They go camping for the weekend together. The kids are always hanging out. They all go to U of I. A lot of them go overseas and they can speak like fucking 2, 3, 4 languages. And so there's like three boys and a girl for the Cornwalls. And both parents are on staff at IU. Chemical, biological engineering and staff. And so, was it about 6 weeks before the murders? This is what happened. They went camping, did all that. He's got a dog. So Noah has a dog. And on September 25th, how I was able to track all of this down is what's his name posted on his site. He said, Charles Cornwall said, enjoyed your company this weekend. Thanks. I said, oh my God. Then there was another one that said, what was her name? A friend of theirs, Ashley, said, yay, fun weekend with the Cornwalls. So that's how I was able to find it. It was all on a public page. Then I was just curious what people do for a living. And what part of town people live in. And you know, if you're driving around the area, which ways you'd be coming from. And so Noah's dad, the heck's it called again? I don't want to butcher the name up, so let me see. Let's see. Okay, meet the International Services Associate Director. So that's what Mrs. Cornwall does for the University of Idaho. Okay. All of these kids are the same age as all of the victims, except for a couple of them would be a couple years older. The Cornwalls, like I said, grew up in Moscow. The parents have been professors at the University of Idaho for 25, 30 years. These kids are good kids. These kids are smart as fuck. Very, 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 very intelligent. And it was just a simple thing is that this kid's car, he's hanging out with his friends. He's driving around like anybody else would. We just had the privilege back in 2023 and in 2024, January of 2024, and then October of 2023. We've been keeping an eye on this car, and I did a neighborhood surveillance canvas of all of Idaho when I was there. I'm allowed to, and I wanted to I went to all the apartment complexes in Moscow, Idaho, and I documented every single Elantra, regardless of the color, regardless. If it was black, didn't matter. If it was white, because this is what they would have done. And you would have reports of talking to these people or eliminating them in some capacity. If you're truly on the path of this is your lead to get to somebody. But I don't believe it. And I believe that they knew, like I said, these police officers knew that the 336 camera or 326 camera in Indian Hills, that is not, that's not the car that's been seen at Ridge at whatever time it would be, 329. But most importantly, this is not the 401. And the 401 is what they say goes and then becomes the car that goes up. The car that goes at 401, it is this car, and he goes up and he motherfucking parks. That's what I've been saying. How do you know that the car that went in, whatever time it would go in, how are you determining that it's the car that then leaves at 420? How are you, what are you talking about? Like, what are you doing? How are you, like, you would have to see the freaking car. And did you guys see the car that's leaving? Absolutely unbelievable. Yeah, it's just absolutely wild. So, I pulled every single noise complaint that has happened since 2019 that originated from the Queen 500 block of Queen Road, which is the apartments there. Every single one from 2019. And then I started paying close attention to the 700 block of Taylor. So if Noah's letting multiple people drive his car, like college kids do, or I mean young kids do, who we saw come out of that car on 2 occasions was a female. Okay. And I know what Noah's wife looks like, and it was not his wife. Okay. Okay. We believe it's a friend. But again, people live double lives. Who knows? People can do what they want. Let me see though. Oh, geez, hold there is a tiny chance, like a very, very small chance that you know how some families are like if you're a Dodge family or you're like a Ford family or you're like a Hyundai family, okay? There is still a small percentage of a chance that this family owned two Elantras. When I say that, I mean Noah's family, okay? Um, it's of my belief that whoever did this, I believe multiple people did this. And so therefore I would want everybody involved. So if Brian is involved, I think there's somebody else involved. That's my personal opinion. So I'm looking at it from the standpoint of is if you think Brian's guilty, that's fine. If you think that he's innocent, that's fine. I'm simply saying that I believe that it's multiple people. Okay. Um, just like I think that it was multiple people in Delphi. Hold on, almost there. Okay, so on November 7th, I got a couple videos I'm going to show you. On November 7th through November 12th, UPS, they wanted, remember they wanted the cameras from the UPS trucks? They did like a search warrant for that. And remember it was said, it was alleged that the last time that Brian Culver pinged around the house in the area was on November 7th. Have you guys been listening to the documents? Yes. I'm going to show you how good GPT chat is. I'm going to show you how good AI is as well. Okay, so I'm curious what that came back as. If there was a hit on that at all. Hold on one second. Okay, sorry about that. So the guy that so November 7th, November 12th, I'm waiting to get some returns on that. I don't think anything returned on it. But just was just curious where that came from so early on that they wanted that. Do you guys remember the date of that? When they had put in for the UPS. It was at the beginning of December. They shouldn't have known about Brian Culver yet, right? So why would they be interested in the UPS if it has nothing to do with Brian? That means that it have something to do with somebody else. And so something I just thought was interesting was, again, it might have nothing to do with anything, but Noah's wife, her dad drives her UPS. Anyways, congratulations to Noah. He goes on and he buys himself a house in Washington. But I was super interested when I found out who and how he worked and maneuvered his dealings to buy his house. And I'm curious if there's a cosigner on the house. Can you have cosigners on houses? Can you just put the house in James? I don't know. But anyways, somebody that's in his circle, Anna Marie studied psychology and criminology at Lewis and Clark. She got her master's in Boise State University, and went to Bellevue High School. And I thought it was interesting because of her background there. Should we all go crazy because Noah's friends have criminology backgrounds and psychology backgrounds? And oh, by the way, Noah's dad has a church ministry that takes in ex-cons and helps them get off on their feet, and houses them. So, yeah. What? Hold on. Sorry, I do apologize. I'm doing a bunch of things. Karen Reed case is kicking my ass. Karen Reed's getting 8 hours of my time a day. Sorry, I might even pay attention to chat. He said, slow it down. Sure, okay. Slow down, chat. All right, there you go. Whew, calm down. Oh, God. Hey, bag of dicks. Wait, what the fuck? You got what? Anyways, moral of the story is, this is really important. Moral of the motherfucking story is that car is not Brian Culver's vehicle, 401, okay? And so then doesn't that just completely blow everything out of the water? Not to mention it's not the 326 car, and the 326 car is not the next car. We showed you guys that the other day based on the times. That car's not going 90 miles an hour. So what's up? Leanna, what happened? You're like out of breath? I was running around. I had to grab something. Like I said, I'm doing like a million things. I'm making a huge fucking map. Making a huge map. Making knives. So this person is just driving home for the night. This person drives around. Do you know they put on their car 83,000 miles in 27 months? And it's not just this person that drives the car. So Ann Taylor already packaged up a bow. I know who drives this car. I know where everybody works that drives the car. I know where they drive to and from. And they are notorious for not putting on front license plates. And when they do, they snug tight hold it. I call bullshit on, I think somebody messed with this a little bit. I think it's interesting. And it's doing it in really interesting parts. But I think the Cowboys went in that house to do your dry run test. You know, the tests that they're talking about, to how long it would take to do stuff. Remember, what else was the other thing? There's another big one. Oh, time of crime. Duh. Uh, so 2:53 a.m., right? Maddie calls BF. I'm I'm gonna give props to Maddie if she was up until 2:53 a.m. as tipsy as we saw her, right? As tipsy as we saw her, and someone's going to testify to the toxicology of her, right? 2:53 a.m. She's, but I'm sorry, she makes a call, not a text. Her phone calls Bethany's phone. I give her props. I would have ate my food and went to bed. Um, so I was thinking about it, and I'm like, what do you think Ann Taylor would be wanting all that footage to go through? She's got to go through a bunch of footage that is just hours upon hours upon hours of all the different cameras um, around campus, you know? And I think she's like anybody would be showing how often certain cars are coming in certain areas, right? Well, I want to show you. I want to give a shout out to EV. He happened, CJ, he happened to just, he went on a trip when he was in Moscow and he went at the time of the murders. So that means it's the exact same time and he was driving around and he had his camera on, right? And he catches at that time none other than the green Elantra coming home. And so we have it, and I'm going to show you this video. Okay, sorry. Fucking A. I can't find this video now. Thank you for becoming a new member there. Please be careful, Anna. Unit. Gee, unit. We getting rowdy. What is up, Noel? Thank you so much. Hold on. I know I sent this to myself last night. Ooh. Don't worry, I'm not a frozen stock state. Michelle, thank you so much for the memberships. Mikey, membership for 24 months. Deborah, woo! Yes. Thank you so much. 24 months. Missed you, Lana, back now. Little nip and tuck. Oh, bend and bat. Yeah. Woo. DB, member for 2 months. Look out. I love this channel more than Jessica Hyde loves finishing sentences. Love Jessica Hyde. Come on, man. Oh, that was a long day. Lana Brains, love you. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Rockham. Thank you, Sherry. Oh, Sherry, back to back. Nothing like a back to backer. Do you think we might have a special participant in chat? Wink, wink, wink. I have no idea who's in chat. Anybody good in chat? I hope this is a good one. I need to be at work at 3 hours. Oh shit. Well, I need you to see this fucking car. It's fucking priceless. Where is God damn it. How do I go to my fucking history? I'm so bad at this. Okay, wait, hold on. I can't. I found it. Yeah. No. Got you.
Companies. It was
in case you guys want to know, it was my March 22nd, 2023 episode where I brought out the UPS truck, and I want to see the date that it was served. Right there. On the 5th day of December. Man. Holy ball sack. Dude, they're going to have so much explaining to do. Again, that's my March 22nd live. It says Idaho4 all delivery trucks November 6th through 14th. UPS. The mystery ride-along guy. Boy. How old do you think he is? I'm gonna print out the. I don't know. How old do you think the mystery guy is? The driver, the ride along, back for the noise complaints. Throw me out. What do you guys think, age wise?
that road going up past the house, though.
And then if you
I got a body cam on July 13th, 2023, and they redacted it to take out all the cars that were along the King Road, Queen Road, until I got back to the back. And I was like, why are they redacting this? Clearly didn't want me to see a car. You think late 20s? Okay.
this has been something.
Yeah.
Really.
Of course.
What episode was that?
I can throw up verbiage like nobody else, faster than anybody else. I know that. That's what the should have slowed me down. But and Olivia did slow me down. But and also I had to remember that I do speak quickly. I speak very quickly. I had a boss once who said you need to sit when you speak because you go.
Okay. On
I'm in coach.
on November, oh, hold on March 9th, 2023, I did an episode called Idaho4, 2 o'clock to 2:15 a.m. E and X not home. Okay. I saw a post and it said, "This is so hard to watch. Ethan texted my son at 2 a.m. and he's almost positive they were still at Sigma Chi at that time. Based on what the text said, that wouldn't put them at the house until at least 2:10 to 2:15. My son called the tip line and reported this days ago, but they are still saying that they think Ethan and Xana were at the house at 1:45. This is so frustrating." So again, I redacted her name out, but this was a live I did 2 years ago, March 9th, 2023. Remember, the probable cause says that they got home, everybody was home, but then we come to find out, they're not. Okay. So I took a trip down memory lane with all. It's going to take a lot for people to try to catch up, but there's a lot. If you want to skim my stuff, everything that we were questioning and everything that we were saying, like, this is all bullshit. It's all bullshit. And the thing is, I wanted to go back and check the dates of when I was calling out the bullshit, because there was people that were talking. They were just talking, with alts. They were talking through other people. Hille made a ruling today, or that was what the closed sealed hearing was about. Ashley Jennings had to offer up, like, hey, why do you think that the Culver should not be part of the sequestration? Yada, yada, yada. So there was a ruling. Really quick, just want to let you guys know if you didn't know that. And it's Hille said that he is allowing Brian's parents to be inside the courtroom the whole entire time. So they, regardless, like, Ashley Jennings can call whoever the hell she wants, but they're not part of it, the sequestration. But
yeah.
I went back through the hair to see if there was any. Remember they were talking about like a piece of dog hair, cat hair, or some type of hair. Curious about that. It's not Brian's, but there are people around there that have pets. I'm gonna play the video right now though of this body cam. We walk up to the guy that has no business being there, and it's from March 23rd. That's how I have to find my videos. I have to go through all the dates, but it's March 23rd, 2023. And I have an old video that I've been saving to play. So I'm going to play this right now. Remember, there is no video coming in, no video going out of this white Elantra. Like, where is it at? Like, a leaving. I want you to see this. I made this video back. God, what was the date? Did they know Brian Culver's name on November 16th? Okay, so hang tight. I'm going to open this.
Having nobody and just nothing but doubt. Honestly, I feel a little bit lucky knowing that we have somebody and there's a person of interest. Not And 7 weeks of that, or close to 7 weeks of that, was
Brian Koberger faces 4 counts of first-degree murder.
The investigation against Brian Koberger.
continuing to collect evidence taking place today on all the victims. Investigation of interest is an isolated, targeted attack on our victims. We do not have a suspect
Right there. What we do know. Okay. Right there. The Freudian slip of all times. Okay. The Freudian slip to me of all time was right there. Okay. He says, what we do know. And he's like, I mean, what we don't know. You guys couldn't hear that? Could you guys hear the video? What the fuck? You guys couldn't hear the video? The fuck is going on around here? I told you I was having issues. All right, let's try this again. All right, you guys should be able to hear now. Can we hear? 1, 2, yeah, it's good. Jesus fucking Christ. Damn. Welcome back. I mean, shit. I just was all over that white on rice over here. So this was back right after the arrest of Brian Kohlberger. I'm going to share this for you. Can you hear that?
What we do know, or what we don't know, excuse me. The identity and location of the suspect. What we do know, or what we don't know, excuse me. The knife or any. The identity and location of the suspect. The location of the knife or any clothing.
All right, here we go.
Honestly, I feel a little bit lucky knowing that we have somebody and there's a person of interest. Nothing feels worse than having nobody and just nothing but doubt. And 7 weeks of that, or close to 7 weeks of that, was a tremendous amount.
Brian Kohlberger faces 4 counts of first-degree murder.
The investigation against Brian Kohlberger.
Investigators are continuing to collect evidence at the scene. Investigators are working to develop a timeline to relevant events. Autopsies are taking place today on all the victims so we can continue to gather evidence and solve the crime. Investigators are working to follow up on all leads and to identify a person of interest. Based on details at the scene, we believe this was an isolated, targeted attack on our victims. We do not have a suspect at this time, and that individual is still out there. We cannot say that there's no threat to the community, and as we have stated, please stay vigilant, report any suspicious activity, and be aware of your surroundings at all times. What we do know, or what we don't know, excuse me, the identity and location of the suspect, the location of the knife or any clothing that was worn by the suspect. Currently, we have 25 plus investigators.
I think that's pretty weird to say. What we do know. I mean, what we don't know. What we do know. Now. Ready?
Excuse me. The identity and be
Ready?
aware of your surroundings at all times.
Here we go.
What we do know, or what we don't know, excuse me.
Boom! Got it. I called this back then. I said that's a Freudian slip. This means they do know this shit. Right here. Ready? They knew what he was wearing.
The identity and location of the suspect.
So that was the first thing on his list. So that's what made him think that he was going to be saying what we do know.
The location of the knife or any clothing that was worn by the
Clothing.
suspect.
Any clothing that was worn by the suspect. I lost my shit over that. I was like, who even says that? We haven't recovered any of the clothing. What? And I thought about it and I was like, wait, you recovered the gloves that they were wearing, right? Gloves, right? The roommate said that, yeah, he was wearing all black with a mask, right? And I'm just like, dude. I was like,
Currently, we have 25 plus investigators working this case. What we do know, or what we don't know, excuse me. The identity and location of the suspect. What we do know, or what we don't know, excuse me. The knife or any clothing. The identity and location of the suspect. The location of the knife or any clothing that was worn by the suspect. Currently,
with what we know now, I believe that Fry slipped and said what we do know subconsciously because listen to the rest of it. And now remember, 38 interviews between November 13th and 18th. This was the first presser. This was November 16th. And they did know what he was wearing. He was clad in all black with a black face mask.
The gloves with the blood.
Did they know the location?
Did they fucking know
of Brian Kohlberger? And did they know Brian Kohlberger when they did this presser on November 16th? You be the judge. This is my bombshell. I believe that Fry slipped with his tongue and he was reading to say, this is what we do know. Because one of those things I do know.
Because they do know.
They knew that he was clad.
They knew it all.
And that he had a black face mask. And whoever comes out and say, we don't know.
And then now we know about the roommates and all the shit that, and now we know about the gloves found, blood on the gloves.
Know what he was wearing. Why would you even need to say that?
What we do know, or what we don't know, excuse me. The identity and location of the suspect. The location of the knife or any clothing that was worn by the suspect. Currently, we have
did law enforcement know it was Brian Kohlberger on November 16, 2022 from that slip of the tongue? And based off of the way the investigation went with search warrants, I believe, yes, they had that name by November 16th, 2022. And I also believe that of the 38 interviews that took place between November 13th and 18th, that one of those 38 coughed up Brian Kohlberger's name.
It was the FBI, baby. I was right. The FBI called his name up. The FBI called his name up. Did they take mine down like they took? Are you? Okay, I swear. Did they take it down? Because that's why I was just losing my shit over here for 5 minutes. I was like, it's got to be in my history, and it's not there. They took down. Did they take down your video? Well, thank God I screen recorded the fuck out of that thing. I just can't. I have to do some stuff to be able to, and I'm having horrible issues tonight. Dude, every time I'm on top of it, this is always what happens. It's fine. The truth will prevail. And if Brian Kohlberger is guilty, Brian Kohlberger should fucking spend the rest of his life in prison. You know what I mean? This isn't about that to me. This is about, dude, lying. This is fucking lies. This is all lies. I have all my HD footage, if so. Okay. Did they take it down? I will go nuts if they took your video down. Because I got some more bombshells I was going to rip out tonight. I got some more stuff saved. I emailed the public defender's office yesterday. And I said, my email said, I'm bringing a perfect package with a bow on top with my link to my video. I said, here you go. Here you go. That's all you got to do. If you're just joining us, again, the cars aren't the cars. These cars can't be going 90 and 100 miles an hour. I cannot believe. So were you able to check? Do you have your video that was just on, look at, I even put it in green right there, coverage on. It's funny. I have another one of these videos I want to show. It's, God, hold on. Let me bring this other one up. They're gonna be like, Lana, you don't make those type of videos anymore. Everything that I show is it's on public sites. Every single one. I believe that there's a confidential informant in the FBI. That's what I believe. Not like local bullshit, okay? But It says the not suspicious green car is the title of the video. Okay, thank you. Let me see if I can pull that up. Here, while we're waiting. Most importantly, Cyray gonna bust that ass open.
Your Honor, our position is that the court should suppress the IgG identification of the United States Constitution, due process, or Article 1, Section 17 of the Idaho Constitution.
Can you guys hear now?
Your balance is that
All right.
approximately how many warrants you worked on in this case?
I don't, ma'am. Several.
No warrant was in place for that work either. Finally, there was a trash pool in Pennsylvania, and there was no warrant for either. All three of those stages of this case, there should have been a warrant, and there wasn't, and this must be. And do you know approximately how many warrants you worked on in this case?
I don't, ma'am. Several. I don't know the exact number.
I'm going to.
Offices with doors, but in the same second floor of the Moscow Police Department.
Are you aware of Special Agent Balance in his work in doing self AT&T records, having any access to AT&T records without a warrant?
I'm not aware of that, no.
Are you aware of him having any ability to review AT&T records through any portal without a warrant?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Boom.
As soon as it was received.
Do you have, when you say that it was provided to him, to Special Agent Balance, is that because you don't have the capacity, technical skills, I guess, to review that raw data and do something with it?
Yes, ma'am.
Was there anybody else that you relied on for that other than Special Agent Balance? Is that because you don't have the capacity, technical skills, I guess, to review that raw data and do something with it?
Yeah.
Prior to this case, had you ever prepared an Apple warrant?
I don't remember.
What was your training related to Apple warrants in December of 2022?
I had no official training at that time.
Prior to this case, had you ever prepared an Apple warrant?
I don't remember.
What was your training related to Apple warrants in December of 2022?
I had no official training at that time.
Prior to this case, had you ever prepared an Apple warrant?
I don't remember.
What was your training related to Apple warrants in December of 2022?
I had no official training at that time.
Wow. Here we go.
How was the DeSales email account known at
Oh,
that date.
Bill! Look
I
at
don't remember.
Bill! Look at Bill!
How was the DeSales email account known?
Oh!
I don't remember.
Fuck! Look at that.
How was the DeSales email account known at that date?
Just had to. We're having so many difficulties over here, so I just had to play that song, and that's the sickest 4 minutes. That, you guys, is leading up to the whole Nick Balance. We know you had the timing advance records. We know all that. We know you got them from Boyd Jackson. We know that you have a relationship there. We know that you can get them. It doesn't matter. No 7-day bullshit. Okay. And it's going to come out. So then what happens? What happens when it comes out? Because it's coming. Because there was discovery that was turned over. There's reports. It can forensically be shown that everything came from a special relationship. So then what happens? That's my question to Hille is what happens? What happens? And you know what? Steve Gonsalves was told that there is no way that we are going to let a quadruple homicide, a quadruple killer, be let off on a technicality. A technicality. So violating people's rights to the FBI is a technicality, for the record. Lying under oath is a technicality for the FBI. Having people lie for them. Acting like they don't know anything. Bill Thompson and Ashley Jennings most certainly know. Bill Thompson gave it the fuck away. You know what? How they got the sales? Do you know how they got the sales? That's why that was the best question ever. And this idiot, Bill Thompson, sits front row and literally makes that face like, oh, doy. Oh my God, no. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And here, and then Payne says, I don't know. Or I don't recall. What did he say there? Did he say, I don't know, or I don't recall? Because if you say, I don't recall, that means you know. And that's very, very important how we got that. Because they got it from the FBI. Because the FBI did all of this shit way before Moscow police then put stuff in. The FBI was running a parallel investigation. And they were leaps bounds in front, okay? Like, meaning like they're moving faster. Now, the reason the FBI couldn't take this case over, or they would have, is it's not a federal, they didn't have jurisdiction. So that should tell you a lot of things. Right? I can't wait to hear if Nick Balance is going to throw Ashley Jennings and Bill Thompson under the bus, or is he going to take the career hit? Because it's coming. Somebody's going down. Somebody in this case is going down. And my gut feeling is going to tell me that the FBI is not going down, and they're not going to have the back of the Moscow Police Department. It's coming. And if Hille just wants to keep lying in orders and writing up and doing all the arguing for the prosecution, then the families are going to be the ones to suffer, because they're going to have to sit through this, not just another trial, but for the rest of their lives. That's why you do things right the first time, so you don't have to do this again. But it's appalling. It's absolutely appalling. They lied their asses off in every aspect of that probable cause affidavit. 19 fucking pages of pure shit. Lies. Absolute lies. Not just like, oh, I didn't lie, but no, you fucking knew. If you have prior knowledge of something and you write something else and you swear to it, that's a lie. And then he's over here, Hille's over here, like covering for them. But he did say on the record that if what Mr. Syre is saying it is true, then it's career ending. Like I've said, it's career ending. Everyone's just going to claim that they didn't know. That they don't know. Well, guess what already has been unsaid on the record? That Hille said, well, what am I supposed to do? Who am I assigning what to if it does come back that something is wrong? If it was everybody in the group, right? And they fucking swore under oath that everybody had the probable cause affidavit. That means Balance can't say that I didn't know that he wrote that in a probable cause affidavit when I served it to AT&T. Nope, that ain't happening. Because Payne got up there and said that everybody had access to it. Okay? These girls, these ladies covered their asses on every fucking like point. There is no watered down tip that you got to Brian Kober some fucked up way that you didn't get to him. There is such thing as suppressing evidence, but there is no such thing as adding and making up evidence in a capital murder case. It's not happening. The state needs to use their probable cause affidavit and say that's what they're going to tell the jury and how they got to Brian Koberger, and it's not going to work. And I'm still going to sit back and see how they're going to be able to bring up the sheath and the DNA and the hit on Koberger without mentioning IgG. Because that's not how, what would have ever made you go to Pennsylvania and take the motherfucking trash? It's not going to work. That's why Becca Barlow was like, we welcome this argument. Nobody is circling, okay? 4 times being seen. It didn't happen. It's multiple vehicles. And the biggest vehicle that is probably over and back in that area is probably somebody that, I don't know, lived back there, took friends back there to drop off. These cops knew better, but they didn't care. They needed to make probable cause. And that's wild to me. That's wild to me when you want to sit here and tell me that the country thinks that there's so much evidence against this man, but yet they had to lie in every aspect of this case to get probable cause. And then, so you can't have it both ways. So you either need to say that this kid is a smart motherfucker, but you can't say that he's not. And you need to do all of those things to be able to arrest him. So it doesn't work both ways. So either he's really, really smart, okay, or he's not, and you don't need to violate anybody's rights, and you go ahead and arrest the guy. But when you have to violate somebody's rights and lie in a probable cause affidavit, not once, twice, 3, everywhere, everything's a fucking lie. And so I went back to look at the probable cause, and I'm gonna leave you guys with this. On page, I think it's page 5 of the probable cause affidavit. Let me pull it up. It was amazing because when you actually go back and read it and you start like kind of connecting some dots. Remember when I said, and a lot of people probably said it, but if not, I said, have you ever heard of a case where they take not the victim's phones? Remember, like, why aren't you doing anything from the victim's phones to create this whole when they could have been, murdered, or what are their last steps and stuff like that? Okay. You're going to sit here and tell me, once I found out that Ethan and Xana had Snapchat maps and they were sharing locations in Snapchat, their Snapchat locations were on, it fucking tracks you like a GPS. So, and you put in to get, to do the search warrant, but more importantly, if you had passwords or if you can get into the phones and look, but there's no, you should know exactly when they got home. They're GPSed. Like they're like a chip in a dog. Okay. That's how, you guys know how crazy Snapchat is. You can go on there right now. And if people have their shit open and you're friends with them and boom, here you go. Those girls, okay, like they were checking, they checked the Snapchat maps to see where Ethan and Xana were. Unreal. So when you go back here, I'm going to pull it up. Oh, let me look at my Idaho shit. It is the affidavit. Okay. It's on page, is it 13? Oh, no, I'm sorry, not 13. That's where Nick Bounce is about to be slammed. Right. I think it's 5. Okay. Page 5. First paragraph. The combination of DM statements to law enforcement. So the combination of DM statements to law enforcement. Review of forensic downloads of records from BF to DM's phone. Okay, ready? They said the words forensic downloads. How in the world do you do a forensic download of both of those girls' phones and you not catch in Cellbrite right in front of your face all of this activity? You would have known if you did a forensic download of these two girls' phones, you would have known. You would have known that there's stuff deleted that what's her name's up and saving a contact in her phone at 3:51. Like, you don't miss these things. And then to say, where's this other one? They said, where was it? Sorry, I'm printing a couple things. There you go. You should be able to see it right there. So this is the combination which led them to that. This is what the time of the crime. And video of a suspect video, as described below, leads investigators to believe the homicides occurred between 4 a.m. and 4:25 a.m. And now, the other thing I think is interesting is, who the fuck do you think was involved in this murder? Because at 4:01, they knew that their suspect vehicle was on Ridge Road. But I get it. You got to give yourself some leeway because we don't know if the times are off on these cameras. I mean, if you're looking at, so think about what else they had there. They have DMs and Bethany's text messages, right? So they've been looking at all these calls and stuff. So right away, this whole 4:19 a.m. is when everything started, right? Of all the texting and the phone calls. But yet not. So what woke DM up at 4:00 in the morning when nobody was in there? Because the person that's in the white vehicle that you're saying is the killer's car? Well, I hate to tell you, but they weren't in that house until, I don't know, 4:10, 4:09, 4:08, right? So what woke Dylan up? Nothing. That's right. She was up at 3:51 saving a contact in her phone. How about this? What are the odds that Dylan doesn't text or call anybody while it's actually happening? Think about this. Someone in my house just screams right now. Think about this. Somebody in my house just screams right now. And then I wait 10, 15 minutes to say, oh my God, did you guys just hear that? And you're like, what? Oh, I mean, it happened 10 or 15 minutes ago. Did you just hear that? No, it was Bethany who called Dylan. That's what started it all. Bethany called Dylan. I went back and read this probable cause evidence again. It made me sick to my stomach because they knew all of this. And so that's just where I don't understand the parents. I'd be so pissed to say, what are you guys doing? And I think Steve did all that. I think he said, what the fuck what's going on here? Are we going to is all this stuff going to get tossed? Because Steve knows that they violated his fucking rights. Steve knows that this is all lies. Steve probably read this probable cause affidavit when this came out, and he's probably like, what the fuck is all this shit? What is this? This entire, the jury, if they don't find Dylan and Bethany credible, do you understand that everything goes out the window? It's like the Jennifer McCabe all over again. You either find Jennifer McCabe in the Karen Reed case. If you believe Jennifer McCabe, you would find Karen Reed guilty. If you don't believe Jennifer McCabe, then what? Then you're not finding Karen Reed guilty. So I look at Dylan in the same type of capacity, and then people are going to say, well, what about these texts? You think they just made these texts up? I don't know what the jury's going to think about all that shit. I have no idea what the jury's going to think about it. But I can tell you that Hitler's got his blinders on. He doesn't want to put things out there. And Taylor gave him the fucking nuts, and he just is ignoring it. And so it's like, the jury in the world aren't going to ignore this. Like, this isn't Delphi. This isn't going to not be like, this is going to be seen by America. And people that haven't been following this case, like the true crime junkies of the world, it's not going to make sense. It's not going to make sense that girls who were so scared that they didn't even want to leave their room didn't call 911. Then they see a girl after they hear all this crazy shit. Oh, I just thought she was drunk. What? So then you weren't, then nothing happened before that. I don't know how. I just think anybody that lives in that area, or a lot of men out there, they're probably buying things that, I guess anything can make you look guilty if they want to spin it. Anybody can spin circumstantial evidence. I think DNA on a sheath at a crime scene. They have to. That's not on Brian Kober to explain. That's on the state to explain how that got there. Because I know for a fact that, just like we saw in Delphi, Ann Taylor has expert witnesses are going to take that stand, and she's going to say that she's going to have her experts and asking them, are these wounds made from a K-bar, this K-bar knife that would fit in this sheath? No, nobody can determine that. I mean, but are there some wounds that there's no way that instrument could cause those? And I think people are going to say, exactly, yes. All of this is going to be things like, could it be this? Yes. Could it be that? Could you rule out this? Nope. Couldn't rule out that. You have all this DNA at the crime scene and 3 unknown males. And you don't think the jury's going to ask questions? Well, why weren't you interested in blood at the crime scene? Well, because it wasn't in one of the areas where on a railing that you would go up or down. We don't believe that the killer left out that way. Well, you don't think he would try to go downstairs into like other people's rooms? But when you look at this right here, and it says, the combination of DM statements to law enforcement, review of forensic downloads of records from BF and DM's phone, and video of a suspect video as described leads investigators with the homicides occurred between this time and this time. Well, I just blew up your fucking 401 bullshit and blew up, and Josiah Roloff blew up your BF and DM phone stuff that's going to come out. And so you're left with what? Statements made by Dylan Mortensen? Well, no, we also have the calls that were happening at 419. Yeah, and I think they're off. I think they're misplaced. I think that she said she was awoken to Kaylee. I think she knows her roommates' voices. So I believe that she did hear Kaylee. And if she heard Kaylee at 4:00 in the morning, she said she heard Kaylee come downstairs and say that somebody was here. There's somebody here. And then she got the dog allegedly, then went back upstairs. I'm sure she said more than that. There's somebody here, like somebody like here, like what? Like what, in your room? Somebody here where? Like, what are you talking about? Can you imagine seeing a masked man in your fucking house and you don't think it's like, you wouldn't be out? Do you want to know what Hitler said in an order? He said, why would the girls run outside? Why would they ever run outside? That's where the masked man went. I'm like, oh my God. Like the logic on you. Well, why would they run outside? That's where he went. That's where the masked man went. He went outside. So they just locked themselves in a room. Dude, it is so night and day different than hearing like a noise when you're in your bedroom and you realize, oh, okay, no, that's just the ice machine that just crashed down all the ice and the maker and blah, blah. Versus physically seeing somebody. If I saw a masked person in my house, I would not equate that to a noise that I heard. Never in a million thousand years. Like, that's night and day. I mean, night and day. But here's Hitler saying that that's not a big deal. I don't think 12 jurors are going to think that. I don't think that at all. And Ann Taylor is saying that all of the facts here are heavily disputed. Like, we're disputing all of this. And the big thing that they're disputing is the time of the crime. That's why I think she says that we have a partial alibi. Because she's saying the only reason it's partial is because if you go off of our timeline on when the killings actually happened, Brian is over here, okay? And not possibly couldn't have done it because he was over there. Also, if they could go off of the victims' phones, they would. But I don't believe that they could. They didn't use them. They did not use the victims' phones to identify the time of the crime. And that just blows my mind. They tell us that Ethan and Xana and everybody was home by 2:00. That's not true. Unbelievable. Unbelievable that they could write that in a probable cause. Unbelievable that they can write a probable cause that the vehicle that they have on camera that they see WSU at 2:52 a.m. They knew that it wasn't Brian Kohlberger's car because they knew that he was way the other way at that time. And he was his handoffs were taking him somewhere else. So they knew. Is it amazing to anybody out there that why isn't the FBI starting their surveillance from WSU and tracking? Because I always argued and said, listen, what vehicle are you going to say came over from WSU to be the 329, 326 car over there in Indian Hills? How are you going to do that? You can't just poof, have a car just show up on a street and say that's the suspect's car. How the fuck are you doing that? And then that's when we did all the work to figure out, okay, wow, that there's two vehicles. And there's reasons that you can't, like, Linda Lane footage, that's the dumpster footage, just poof, disappears after 3:30, that first sighting to go across. It is needed to connect that 401 sighting. It's needed for other sightings to prove that there's not other vehicles coming into that area. It's needed to prove that there aren't people walking, riding bikes. Dude, so many people have bikes over there and so many people walk. And if the 401 car is technically your killer that you say that it is, it's not Brian's car. So I don't know what to tell you. It's not his car. I've been watching really closely the Karen Reed case because I've been doing all this data for the cell phones and I think a lot of people are about to be shell shocked on what's coming with the data, the phones. And I don't know why people are out there right now, but they're trying everything they can to push their narrative one last push before this whole thing gets, in my opinion, blown out of the water when it comes out. The timing advance records, they had them the whole time. They had them because of the FBI's relationship with Boyd Jackson and the amount of lying that went on in that courtroom with prosecutors and yeah. They buried 7 minutes of data that proves that he went the other way. So what happens? What normally happens in a case? And I'm over here like, well, fuck, is this not even going to go to trial? Like, oh my God, like what type of, like, what's going to happen? You just can't use Nick Balance. Get the fuck out of here. That's not what's just going to happen. That's prosecutorial misconduct. That's automatic dismiss with prejudice. That's what happens. How does a 911 call get leaked that's under a gag order? How does that happen? Why would that happen? I would think it would just traumatize everybody. I just want the discovery. I'll read it and I'll tell myself what happened. I can share with all of you guys as well and tell you how I connected whatever. And if Brian Colbert is, guilty, Brian Colbert is guilty. I have no idea if Brian Colbert is guilty. I've just never seen, I've never seen blatant lying. I mean, this is like when somebody has the nuts on you, it's like they're, you're bluffing. You can't bluff. Like Ann Taylor's not folding a winning hand. Ann Taylor has the nuts on them. Okay. So normally prosecutors can bluff and lie because like it's stuff that I can't prove. That's not the case here. That's not the case. I'm going to FOIA 68 terabits. We hit Moscow this week with a bunch. They're probably busy right now. We hit them. I hit the FBI up too. I hit the FBI up for Karen Reed stuff. Karen Reed stuff should be available to us. If it's not available, then it's not closed. Okay? Go get the Karen Reed stuff. Karen Reed stuff's going to be sick. The lying is out of control. You guys, these are our rights. This could be your kid, okay? This could be you. And you know what? If Brian Colbert is guilty and fucking killed 4 kids, you think I want him out on the fucking streets? Absolutely not. I want his dick to never see the fucking... I don't want him ever to be anywhere. But mainstream media not covering the lies, not covering... Have you heard one person from mainstream media talk about Cy Ray's affidavit? I know I haven't. That's what the media is supposed to do. It's supposed to highlight corruption. It's supposed to be our ears and eyes for what the fuck is going on in the government. Okay. And all we see lately with the media is nope, pushing narratives. It's truly disgusting. And this stuff matters so much because of someone like a Sheldon Jeter Jr., like a Karen Reed, right? We don't know enough about Brian because it's not all out there, but thank God Karen Reed happened to hit her boyfriend's freaking car. Thank God Karen Reed was on her boyfriend's Wi-Fi so that it would automatically connect. This stuff happens way more, and this is a murder case. They do this every day in like divorce land, fucking family court. It's a big old circle jerk. They do this every day in drug court. This is a problem. And you know what's interesting is when DNA first became a big thing and you heard about the Innocence Project and DNA was, exonerating people, right? Well, I think anybody that went to prison off of caste, they need to put in a motion, okay? Because this case is going to show why you would get a new trial. Because caste has been railroading people for fucking years. And this case is going to blow it all open. And I hope it does. And I'm going to sit back and I'm going to love every minute of it because I want all of these people that think that they're above the law and are actually working to uphold the law. Those are the people that should be thrown in jail as well. I mean, who are we voting for when we go and vote for these DAs? Who the fuck are we voting for when we vote for these goddamn judges? When I saw how much Canton police officers are making over there in Canton, some of these guys are making $347,000 a year. $347,000 a year. Yeah, I didn't 347, 250, 175. What? Damn. Fucking sign me up I want to be a police officer. Damn. I couldn't believe that the guy that decided to use a leaf blower in a murder investigation, Lieutenant Gallagher, used a fucking leaf blower. Yeah. But didn't wear any gloves when he was using his leaf blower. Gallagher. I am far too competent to be a cop. And it's like anything, though. You know how many good cops there are, man? You know how many... I don't even know if I can use the word. You know how many good lawyers there are? I don't know. I like people with passion. And those ladies seem to think that Brian Kober is fucking innocent. And I want to see why. But we are innocent until proven guilty. And I don't know why Steve has so much faith in people that have been lying. So we know the probable cause is a lie. We know all of the things that came out. That's all lies, 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 lies. But Steve wants to believe the people that have been lying to him and us for 2.5 years. And we're just supposed to just be like, oh, it's okay. No, this is where the doubt comes from. This is why you should be questioned about this type of stuff in a courtroom under oath, and for the jury to hear it is that, what did you do in this investigation? Let's show everybody what the fuck you've done. Okay. And then show it to the jury. If I was on a jury where I saw that this is what you did in a case when 4 people were murdered, so you're trying to get justice for them, right? And this is what you did. Who the fuck do you think you are? And if I would, Brian Kohlberger guilty or not, if I'm Steve, I'm like, who the fuck do you think you are, Payne? Fry? Balance? You jeopardized everything, and then to hear this, well, we wouldn't have got him if we didn't do it this way. What do you want us to do? We did it this way because you're a dad and we're a dad, and we would never we bent the rules to get the bad guy. So if that makes me a shitbag, I guess I'm a shitbag. Is that what they're saying to Mr. Gonsalves? But what if it's not him? What if it's not? What if there's other people? What if it is him and there's more people? Wouldn't you want everybody that did this? It just blows my mind. It blows my mind that I would believe people, because he was straight on the money. Go listen to all of his interviews in the beginning. He wasn't wrong when he came out to apologize to those pricks. Fuck. That's not what I would have been saying. I would have been saying, I know all this is bullshit, and if this fucking comes out and we don't get this guy that you claim is he's, blah, 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 it's your ass. I'd be losing on these motherfuckers. When Steve did his interview and he said that he found out about the arrest through his lawyer, you know what that means, guys? He is a criminal defense attorney. That means when you lawyer up, cops can't come talking to you. They go to your lawyer and they talk through your attorney. And that doesn't mean just once, okay, for this one I can talk to you, but for this I can't. No, that means every single time. So Steve gets notified if he has an attorney, or at least back then. Why wouldn't they call him and notify the family through, when I was listening to that interview and I heard that he found out, well, yeah, Shannon Gray called us and told us. And I'm like, why would Shannon Gray be calling you and telling you? That tells me that the cops can't call you because you've at some point told, it got to that level. Because I would think, a lot of cops like to be the one to tell you, listen, hey, we got this motherfucker. Not call up your attorney and say, hey, just giving you a heads up, we're making an arrest. Very, very strange. That'd be a very emotional moment, I would think, but I just don't want to see parents getting hosed and continuing to be lied to. But that car isn't at 401. That's not that car. They know it. The cops know it. And I just thought all of you guys should know it as well. All right, guys, over and out. I said thank you so much. Love the love in chat. Love the love. Pavarotti, thank you so much. I saw you throw up a video. Green Machine. I got to get with CJ here. I want to show you guys that video. I don't know what's going on, though. Had horrible audio. Horrible. That's par for the course. Noel, way to go. Lana, way to go. Love it. Thank you so much. Huge supporter there. Noel, I appreciate you. Deborah gifted 5. Truth and Transmitted. Those nip tucks right there. Jackie, what's good, girl? Shake it. Super sticker $9.99, baby. Work it. Again, Noah is not a suspect. No, it's just Noah's car. Okay. And that's all that matters. You just can't go making people, hey, this is the car. Yep. That's what this is about. So don't be fucking saying Noah's a killer or some shit like that. All right. I personally believe that he was clear, but he was looked at because of his vehicle. And then they just kept on and letting that vehicle be right where it was. Mom of 3, thanks for all you do. I appreciate you. I appreciate you too. Thanks so much, Mom of 3. Thank you. Mama J, I love all the moms, man. CJ's video, not suspicious, but suspicious green car. Yep. I'm going to talk with him, and if I can just clip a couple of the parts, but go check it out. And he was there at night, and the car's driving around, and I know for a fact that Noah was there in September, October, November of 2022. Like, know it because he's very active on social media and he says it. He says it. They go camping with the families. He's hanging out with his friends. He rented out one of the apartments at the Queen Road. So I'm not just pulling this out of my fucking ass. Unsolved Cases of News. Love being a part of this group. Oh, thank you so much. We love having you. RVing it, keeping it rolling. Member for 21 months. Badass. Badass right there. Jackie, member for 14 months. Unit, it's about damn time. Get that membership. Atlanta's always careful. Thank you so much, Michelle. Oh my God, Noelle back to backer 999.99. We getting rowdy. I'm gonna have to cut that out. They're gonna tell me I can't play music. Moto Man. I hope this is a good one. Oh yeah, I read that earlier. Sorry. Do you think we might have anybody special in chat? When it goes so fast, I can't really see. I try to grab some. So anyone who shows up in 1984 Volkswagen Rabbit is a potential serial killer. No, I don't know. I just think it was strange when I saw them knives, those saw knives. I was like, oh God, what the fuck? Yeah, so who did they scrub from the internet? Who's been scrubbed? I don't know. What's with Moscow and knives? I don't know. I think knives have always been a thing. I think knives have always been a thing. Thank you so much, Akan, guys. Appreciate you. Peace out. Sorry about that last video that I redacted everything though that I could possibly think that would be. So, all right, guys. Peace out. Peace.